Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to understand psychrometric chart. In previous lecture we have defined various temperatures used in psychrometry. So here we are going to discuss about psychrometric chart. My dear students, this psychrometric chart is drawn for given pressure. If you take any reference book of refrigeration, at the end of this reference book you will find one chart, right? And this chart is nothing but psychrometric chart, and the chart generally looks like this. See here, I am going to draw the chart. The chart looks like this, and this chart is drawn for given pressure, right? Now the chart will be like this. Generally this is very big chart. It is, you will find this chart in any refrigeration book in folded form, right, at the end. Now the chart looks like this, and on this chart, on this horizontal line here, there will be a temperatures. On this line there are temperatures. Let us say, I will say dry bulb temperature, right? And vertically along y-axis there will be a specific humidity. There will be a specific humidity, we can say specific humidity, also called humidity ratio, represented by omega. It is represented by omega. And this curved line, is nothing but relative humidity is equal to 100% line. On this is saturated line. This curved line is a saturated line, we can say, right? That means on this line relative humidity is 100%. Therefore we can say relative humidity, which is represented by phi, is 100% on this line, right? Now these are the three lines here. Now we are going to understand other lines also, right? Here along x-axis we will see temperatures. On x-axis we are going to see temperatures. On y-axis we are going to see specific humidity, and this curved line is saturated line for this chart, right? Now on this chart, the number first point is vertical lines with uniform spacing on the psychrometric chart are called dryable temperature lines. Very important point. Vertical lines with uniform spacing on psychrometric chart are called dryable temperature lines. Means, let us say here I am going to draw vertical lines. This is a vertical line, right? This is called dryable temperature line. Again with uniform spacing. This is one more vertical line. Here you will find one more vertical line, one more vertical line, right? These vertical lines are called dryable temperature lines. Means on these vertical lines dryable temperature is constant. Let us say this is the line. On this line dryable temperature is constant. That means at any point, let us say here or here or here or here or here, at any location on this line the dryable temperature is same, right? Now the second point is horizontal lines with uniform spacing are called constant specific humidity lines, right? Here again I am going to draw horizontal lines. Horizontal lines with uniform spacing. This is a horizontal line. Again here you will find one more horizontal line, again one more horizontal line. These horizontal lines are called constant specific humidity lines. Means if you consider any horizontal line, let us say I will consider this line, this horizontal line. On this horizontal line at any point the specific humidity is constant. Therefore these lines are constant specific humidity lines. Specific humidity on this line is constant. Here or here or at this location or at this location or at any location on this line the specific humidity value will be constant. Hence horizontal lines with uniform spacing on psychrometric chart are called constant specific humidity lines. Now whenever these constant specific humidity lines touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line, then we will get dew point temperature. So let us find dew point temperature for any one condition. Let us say for this constant specific humidity line, whenever this line touches relative humidity is equal to 100% at this location, let us say this location, then we will get dew point temperature. Now here the temperature will be dew point temperature. So we can say these horizontal lines are also called constant dew point temperature lines. That means on this horizontal line at any location the dew point temperature will be same. See my dear students, for temperature we have to see x-axis, but on this horizontal line dew point temperature is constant. Means let us say if I consider any point, let us say this is a one point or other point or another point or another point on this horizontal line, at each and every point the dew point temperature will be same or constant. Therefore, horizontal lines with uniform spacing on the psychrometric chart are also called dew point temperature lines. So my dear students, make a note that horizontal lines with uniform spacing on psychrometric chart are called constant specific humidity lines as well as constant dew point temperature lines. Now the next line is regarding relative humidity line. See my dear students, whenever relative humidity is 100%, then it is called saturated condition. Therefore, this curved line is saturated line on which relative humidity is 100%. Now, curved lines parallel to this relative humidity is equal to 100% line are called constant relative humidity lines. See here, curved lines like this parallel to relative humidity is equal to 100% are called constant relative humidity lines. Means on these lines, on these curved lines, relative humidity is constant. Let us say on this line relative humidity is 50%. Then at each and every location on this curved line the relative humidity will be 50% only, right? Therefore, curved lines curved lines parallel to relative humidity is equal to 100% are called constant relative humidity lines. Another line on psychrometric chart is weightable temperature line. Now, weightable temperature lines are inclined lines sloping downward to the right. See here, this is an inclined line sloping downward to the right. This is called weightable temperature line. That is, weightable temperature on this line is constant. Weightable temperature lines are inclined lines sloping downward to the right are called weightable temperature lines. Means on this line at any location weightable temperature will be constant, and while looking at weightable temperature the air must be saturated, that already we have seen in previous lecture, right? Therefore, on this line if I want to measure weightable temperature, then go in inclined manner like this, and whenever air becomes saturated, that is relative humidity becomes 100%, then corresponding temperature, let us say at this location, corresponding temperature is called weight bulb temperature. Weight bulb temperature. Constant enthalpy lines are also sloping downward to the right, right? Constant enthalpy lines are also inclined lines sloping downward to the right. My dear students, truly speaking, there is slight deviation between constant enthalpy line and weightable temperature line. Here you can see the constant enthalpy lines will look like this. Let us say this is a constant enthalpy line, right? Let us say this yellow color is constant enthalpy line. Means on this line at any location enthalpy will be constant. My dear students, truly speaking, there is slight deviation between weightable temperature line and constant enthalpy line, right? And but both are sloping downward to the right, right? But my dear students, for practical purpose, we are considering weightable temperature line and constant enthalpy line as a parallel lines. Truly, there is a slight deviation, but for practical purpose, we are considering weightable temperature line and constant enthalpy lines are as a parallel lines. So, whenever you want to answer in examination, you have to write that weightable temperature lines and constant enthalpy lines are parallel lines. My dear students, they are not coinciding, they are not similar, they are different lines, they are not coinciding with each other, they are only parallel lines. Next is constant specific volume lines are also inclined lines sloping downward to the right, but constant specific volume line will be having more inclination as compared to weightable temperature line and constant enthalpy line. See here like this, the constant specific volume lines, these are the constant, let us say on this line specific volume is constant, right? Therefore, the constant specific volume lines are also inclined lines sloping downward to the right, but constant specific volume line will be having more inclination as compared to weightable temperature or constant enthalpy lines, right? Now next line is sensible heat factor line. Next line is which is not that much important. Now again here I am dictating two lines which are not important. Up to this very much important for competitive exams, right? Again up to this I am going to repeat. Vertical lines with uniform spacing on the psychrometric chart are called constant dryable temperature lines. Horizontal lines with uniform spacing on the psychrometric chart are called specific humidity lines. Now, whenever this specific humidity line touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line, then we will get dew point temperature. Therefore, dew point temperature lines are also considered as horizontal lines with uniform spacing. Then, the curved lines parallel to relative humidity is equal to 100% line are called constant relative humidity lines. That means on these curved lines, relative humidity is constant. Then, inclined lines sloping downward to the right are called constant weightable temperature line. That means whenever this inclined line touches relative humidity is equal to 100%, then corresponding temperature is called weightable temperature. Again, constant enthalpy lines are also inclined lines sloping downward to the right, and constant weightable temperature line and constant enthalpy line are considered as parallel lines, but they are not coinciding. Then constant specific volume lines are also inclined lines sloping downward to the right, but this constant specific volume line will be having more inclination as compared to constant weightable temperature line or constant enthalpy line. Then next line is sensible heat factor line. Sensible heat factor line is inclined line sloping downward to the left. Like this we can see sensible heat factor lines are inclined lines sloping downward to the left. Therefore on this line sensible heat factor is constant. And my dear students, this sensible heat factor we are going to define at the end of this chapter, so don't worry about this. As of now remember only that these sensible heat factor lines are inclined lines sloping downward to the left, right? Again, horizontal lines with non-uniform spacing on the psychrometric chart are called constant vapor pressure line. See here, horizontal lines with non-uniform spacing. Here, specific humidity lines are also horizontal line, but they have uniform spacing. That means gap between two lines is constant here, right? But horizontal lines with non-uniform spacing on psychrometric chart are called constant vapor pressure line. Here vapor pressure is constant. These are the various lines that you will find on psychrometric chart. Whenever you take any reference book of refrigeration, then look at the psychrometric chart and clearly observe the psychrometric chart. For any competitive examination, dryable temperature, dew point temperature, weightable temperature, specific humidity, relative humidity, and enthalpy lines. These 6 lines are very much important, right? So our discussion will be more on these 6 lines, right? Now, for human being, the dryable temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 50% is maximum comfort. That means the area surrounded by dryable temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 50% gives maximum comfort to the human being. Let us say this is your psychrometric chart. This is your psychrometric chart, right? On this chart, let us draw relative humidity is equal to 50% line. On this line, relative humidity is 50%. On this curved line at any location relative humidity will be 50%, and let us say you will find one point where the dryable temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Dryable temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, right? So area surrounded by these 2 points gives maximum comfort for human being. Let us say this area surrounded by these two points or dryable temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 50% gives maximum comfort for the human being. Therefore, this is called human comfort zone. Human comfort zone. And one more thing, always in competitive exam they will ask you comparison of dryable temperature, weightable temperature, and dew point temperature. For these three temperatures always they are asking comparison. So let us compare them. In previous lecture we have seen that whenever relative humidity is less than 100%, then dryable temperature is always more than weightable temperature is always more than dew point temperature. This relation we have seen. And whenever relative humidity is 100%, then all these three temperatures are equal. That is, dryable temperature is equal to weightable temperature is equal to dew point temperature. That already we have seen in theory lectures or previous lecture. So let us understand the same concept diagrammatically, right? So let us draw psychrometric chart. Let us say this is our psychrometric chart. Let us say this is our psychrometric chart. Now first of all, we will check for relative humidity less than 100%. These three temperatures we will check. Then on another psychrometric chart, we will check for relative humidity of 100%. Whenever relative humidity is 100%, right? Then we will check relation between these three temperatures, right? Now my dear students, let us say relative humidity less than 100%. Whatever may be the value. So the line will be somewhere here. Let us say this is the line where on this line relative humidity is less than 100%. Whatever may be the value of relative humidity, right? Now let us consider any one point on this line. Let us say this point, this red color point I am considering. Now from this point, if I draw straight vertical line directly, I will get dryable temperature. This temperature will be dryable temperature. Now from this point, if I draw weightable temperature line, because dryable temperature line is vertical line, right? Weightable temperature line is inclined line sloping downward to the right. Now from this line, if I draw weightable temperature line like this, inclined line sloping downward to the right, on this line weightable temperature is constant, right? Now and on vertical line, on this vertical line, dryable temperature is constant. Dryable temperature is constant, right? Now whenever this weightable temperature line touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line, here this line is phi is equal to 100% line, relative humidity 100% line. Whenever this weightable temperature line touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line, then we will get one point. Now from this point we will get weightable temperature. So find weightable temperature. Therefore weightable temperature will be somewhere here. Weightable temperature. See, you can see here dryable temperature is more than weightable temperature, right? Now again from the given condition, if I draw horizontal line, because dew point temperature line is horizontal line, here from this point if I draw horizontal line, let us say horizontal line, this horizontal line is dew point temperature line. Dew point temperature is constant on this line, and whenever this dew point temperature line touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line, here touches relative humidity is equal to 100% line somewhere here, from this point we will get dew point temperature. So find dew point temperature. From this point you will get dew point temperature. Now you can see here dew point temperature is less than weightable temperature and weightable temperature is less than dryable temperature. Therefore whenever relative humidity is less than 100%, the relation is dew point temperature is less than weightable temperature is less than dryable temperature, right? Now whenever relative humidity is 100%, let us say this is relative humidity is equal to 100% line, right? Curved line. Now whenever relative humidity is 100%, then the given condition will be somewhere here, this point you will get, and from this point all the temperatures will be, from this point all the temperatures will be, it is dryable temperature, also weightable temperature, also dew point temperature, because the necessary condition for weightable temperature and dew point temperature is that the air must be saturated, that is relative humidity must be 100%. So whenever relative humidity is not 100%, then we have to make it saturated. But to make it saturated for weightable temperature, there is a straight inclined line sloping downward towards right, and for dew point temperature there is horizontal line, right? So when your relative humidity is 100%, all the temperatures are same. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see various processes on psychrometric chart.